here's Brody Brazil.
I know this video might come across as a promotion or a plug for Neil Everett and Stan Verrett. It's not that at all. I don't know them. We're not friends. I'm sure in the nature of this business, like it's a small world and we've got some mutual friends. But I do want to talk about their transition from old legacy media of ESPN and how that all concluded with SportsCenter closing down in Los Angeles, and now what they're going on to do on platforms like YouTube and Twitch and other social media entities. And again, they're starting the Stan and Neil show, this after kind of either stepping away or being dismissed by ESPN, and more on that in just a second. I need to start with the background here. Stan and Neil were the tandem that hosted SportsCenter Los Angeles from 2009 to 2023. Neil left in 2023, and then Stan stayed until the studio shut down its operation in Los Angeles in May, I want to say, of this year, earlier this year. So it all kind of came to a conclusion. And actually, if you go back and watch that final show from Los Angeles, when they were signing off, Stan and Neil both hinted like, hey, maybe we should do our own show. Wink, wink. So clearly it was something they thought about, they were preparing for, and now several months later across the summer, maybe they took some time to dial it in and figure it out and do their own thing. They were, Stan and Neil, kind of the last established SportsCenter duo. And you could go back to the days of Dan Patrick and Keith Olbermann together and all the one-liners and scripts and funny things that they would deliver in reading highlights and having fun and presenting sports. And like SportsCenter was the thing. It was the main character of sports news and information 20 years ago. And I know it's not like that anymore, and people are on their phones and scrolling, and social media platforms can get to your highlights a lot quicker than waiting around until 11 p.m. to do so. But the point is that SportsCenter was a thing, and SportsCenter was a thing because of its people. And Stan and Neil were like the last established, hey, I know who they are. They did it for a very long time. They worked together for a very long time. There's some comfort to that. There's a reason people subscribe to YouTube channels specifically. It's because they like the channel. They like the consistency. They like to know what to expect from the channel. If the channel had 25 different people on it and it kept rotating and it just didn't feel right or familiar, you might not like that YouTube channel. So why should SportsCenter be any different? And anyway, SportsCenter in its heyday had duos, had tandems of people, had very familiar faces, and there was a little bit of a rotation, but generally speaking, you could tune in at a certain time and find the people that you wanted to tune in for, to present the news and highlights and information to you. It kind of felt like to me, whether it was walking away or being let go, that for Stan and Neil, at some point, like ESPN is a huge operation. I don't want to speak to their situations personally because I've been there before, where there's not another path for you with us, right? Like, we're a big company. We've got other options for you. We've got different roles for you. We're just going to slide you into something else. With Stan and Neil, either they didn't want it or the network didn't offer that to them. Again, I'm speaking from personal experience here. I know exactly how that goes. So the network side of it is this. Before I talk about what Stan and Neil specifically are doing, the network side is this. Through good and bad and anywhere in between these days, it kind of feels like, and it's not even just sports networks. This could be news networks. I'm talking about old school legacy media. They seem less willing to pay for personality, established personalities, known commodities. They'd rather just throw anybody in there in the mix. And actually, they don't want you to become too well of a known commodity. Otherwise, they think, well, we've got to pay for this person now. It used to be that you were a loyal employee of a 3-letter network. And it's not like you were their property, but you were dedicated to them because they were going to take care of you. And as your profile grew, the network's profile grew. And at some point along the road, the networks felt like, well, this is the person growing and we're not growing because of the person or with the person, so the person doesn't matter. It's not about the people, it's about us, the network. It's about the name, the logo, the branding. But I think a lot of you know, like, what do you tune in for? You probably tune in for the people. And again, the networks just, and this is not an ESPN thing, this is an across-the-board thing, the networks don't really want to pay for their people anymore. SportsCenter is a show that made its name from people's names, right? Like, I get it, highlights and snazzy things, it's a very flashy presentation and the music was part of it. And it was a very ingrained brand in sports culture. But SportsCenter made a big name because of the names that were on that show, and Chris Berman and Stuart Scott and Rich Eisen and so many, Linda Cohn over the years, so many talented people. But right now, can you name 10 ESPN personalities? Like studio hosts, not game announcers. I'm talking about studio hosts. Can you name 10 of them in 2025? You probably can't. I don't even know if I can. And I work in the industry, so to speak. It's really hard to compete with social platforms and YouTube for viewers. And so I think, the networks are looking at this differently than they ever have right now. It's not only that their competition exists because their linear network competition exists, but now YouTube and Twitch and other platforms also exist too. Here's some tweets that Stan had about making this jump, making this leap, making this transition. When I made the decision to remain in LA, he's not moving necessarily, he's making LA his home still. One of the things I said was that the business is changing, obviously, and that I had to change with it. Owning our content was the biggest change. Could not be more excited to be reunited with Neil and build our show together. Join us. He also said the funny thing is both Neil and I are old school, traditional broadcasters. We spent the summer learning as much as we could about doing a digital show. We had so many belly laughs in the process, just hanging. We said, that's it, just have fun. So that's the agenda. And I get all of this, right? I understand the thought of being able to call your own shots, do your own thing, own your own content. Yeah, it's not the same. It's not the platform of ESPN. That's the biggest stage in sports still, no doubt. But I also understand the fact that all of us, and I'm old enough to say this, we're trained to talk like this in front of a camera. We're trained to be very proper while we're on television. It's not like that here on YouTube anymore. In fact, I still work on shaking off the TV guy tone and delivery sometimes here on YouTube. I kind of have to get that scent off me sometimes. But I understand that Stan has done that for a very long time, and now he'll be making this transition onto social media. So the Stan and Neil Show, I've talked a lot about their journey, the jump from old school media to new school media. They'll be live on Twitch Tuesdays and Fridays beginning September 9th, and it will be live on Twitch, but then afterwards posted to all the other platforms. It's hard, right? It's hard to start your own thing from scratch. You have no budget. You don't know necessarily the production side. I was lucky when I made this jump and had the home studio already set up and ready to go to build the channel and make content. It's hard to start. It's hard to be great at something at the very beginning. It's hard to have momentum. The one thing they do have is chemistry and friendship and contacts, and I hope that they utilize that to the best of their ability. I'm rooting for this, obviously. Don't know the guys, don't know what they're going to do. I don't know that you want to do a highlight show on Twitch. I think you just want to be yourself. I think it's more of a personality-driven thing. It's more of a talk-driven thing. But it's hard to start something and not have a lot of support like you once had ultimate support. And now you don't have that anymore. So I just want to point out this is very difficult what they're trying to do. And it's going to take dedication. It's going to take persistence. It's going to take a lot of times where you're wondering, is this worth it? Should I be doing this path or should I try something else? It can be great. And that's the point here is I am so fortunate that this place, YouTube and other social platforms exist. And I think that's what Stan and Neil will find too. They're lucky that the opportunity still exists. And although ESPN was a direct conduit and it helped them reach a lot of people, that they can be found and they will be found if they do a really good job on what they're aiming for right now. So they probably won't be wearing suits like that. They probably won't be doing a post-game basketball show at Duke. That's probably not going to happen just based on budget and the nature of social media. But I do wish them well. I will be checking in and tuning in. And hey, Stan and Neil, if you see this and if I can help you in any way, reach out. Just let me know. Appreciate everybody in the thoughts and comments down below. What do you think about, traditional broadcasters making the jump to new media? Again, I think it's encouraging. It's exciting. It's a little bit nerve-wracking in the firsthand experience of how to do this right and make the ultimate step, but I want to know what you have to say. Thumbs up down below helps me the video on the channel. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll love to see you back here next time.